Ask a group of people why they don't want to delegate, and the answers are many, having to do with trust, fear, cost, competence, inability, no time, and the list goes on. For example, if employees are incompetent or unable, then why are they on the team? If it's fear, then it's the Manacoach who has the problem in delegating, and he needs to deal with it. And if you don't have time to delegate, then you don't know how to delegate. And if you aren't going to learn how, then it's time to raise the white flag and surrender. Because you, your team, your group, your organization, and or your company has hit the ceiling. There are only 3 reasons why people don't delegate, and if you want to be a Manacoach, you need to be aware of all 3. The first reason is that the person is too insecure to delegate. Insecurity can be seen in a person who is afraid that they won't have a job if someone else learns it. It can be seen in a person that measures their self-esteem based on how many people seek solutions and line up for answers. The unfortunate thinking is, the more people that depend on me or report to me, the more important I am. This is definitely not the thinking of Manacoaches. They measure their effectiveness on how many of their team members think on their feet and take initiative. The second reason a person won't delegate is because they don't know how. The Manacoach is a teacher who knows how to break the activity down into parts and knows how to teach each of the parts so that the individual can easily learn it. The Manacoach identifies mentors on the team to demonstrate. The Manacoach is a master at looking at the 13 things a person is doing wrong, and he gives her 1 or at most 2 things to focus on that will make all 13 things improve. The Manacoach is clear that teaching is an art. It's not just communicating, it's understanding whether the person being taught is actually getting it or not getting it. The Manacoach also continually follows up to monitor and inspect. In teaching skill sets and information, the Manacoach follows up to ensure that the learning is taking place. Some of us like to think that we taught it, but they didn't learn it. But Manacoaches are clear that if the team members didn't learn it, the Manacoach didn't teach it. The third reason people don't delegate is that they don't want to go home. Some people, believe it or not, don't delegate because they'd rather be at work than be at home. You might be saying, so what's the problem? It's great to have a person who works long hours. But the question then becomes, is this situation healthy for anyone? It might seem like you are demonstrating a high level of commitment by working so many hours. And granted, there are times in any business cycle when one must put in long hours. But if managing is getting things done efficiently and effectively through others, then why is the person designated to manage people working long hours alone? Why isn't the team working alongside the manager? The Manacoach is clear that there are only 1 of 2 scenarios when it comes to delegating. You are either managing the members on your team, or the members on your team are managing you. For example, did you ever have a boss that you knew you only had to ask for help and he would take over the task at hand? Every day you were leaving at 5 p.m. and your boss would be working late. The truth is, whether you are aware of it or not, you are managing your boss. Manacoaches are clear that those who are dependent only become independent when that dependence is rejected. In other words, the Manacoach must first reject the dependence of a team member before the team member will become independent. This is a law, and there are no exceptions. Therefore, Manacoaches are clear that one of their key roles is to reject dependence. Manacoaches have the same answer for any teammate asking a question. They always answer the question with, "What would you do if I wasn't here?" It's not only a question, it's a mantra. The Manacoach knows that nobody is growing if the Manacoach answers the questions and solves the problems. They know the golden rule, that the person who asks the question is the person in control. Through this discipline of rarely answering questions, the Manacoach's teammates are clear that they better have a proposed solution to any problem they bring forward. It doesn't matter if it's not the right solution, but they better have some proposed solution, because that mantra response of "what would you do if I wasn't here?" will be asked when they approach the Manacoach for guidance. The Manacoach's teammates know that they are paid to think, and they better have thought about some sort of solution because they are not paid not to think. They are not paid to ask the Manacoach for answers. The only way to create a culture of thinkers is to not jump in with the answers. Manacoaches love to avoid the trap of solving problems because it also identifies talent on the team that otherwise would not have been discovered. And at times, the solutions brought forward are far better solutions that would have been provided by the Manacoach. The Manacoach loves it when this happens because his job is to see to it that people grow. Over 30 years ago, Tom Peters said that there are only 2 things a Manacoach has to learn well: let go and shut up. People do not become independent on their own. The Manacoach knows that when the little girl is slowly tying her shoelace, that he has a choice. He can take over the process because he is much faster or better at it, or he can stand there quietly, biting his tongue until it bleeds. This is what we call the pain process in delegating. The Manacoach knows that he must not only go through the pain process, but he needs to learn to love it, or he will be tying shoelaces for the rest of his life. Admittedly, due to outside circumstances, there are times when the Manacoach has to jump in and tie the shoelace. But this should be the exception, because all Manacoaches know that nothing is learned when they are providing the answers and solutions to the issues, questions, and problems. Manacoaches know that successfully delegating to others is the only way that the team, the organization, and they as individuals can grow. To have a healthier and more productive management team, go to www.themiraclemanager.com.